I am about 2 clean races away from Silver 1 in Le Mans Ultimate. I'm currently Bronze 3 and I'm almost Silver 1, and obviously I want to get Silver 1 because once you get that you can do like the multi-class stuff, and there's multi-class racing at Brazil with LMP2, LMP3 and GT3 cars, so I'd really like to do that. I've been trying to get my safety rating up, and I found out the best way to do that is actually to do qualifying, because obviously I know the simple stuff is like, you know, don't go off the track, don't hit people, but I didn't realise actually how much like qualifying matters. It doesn't really matter what position you get, because that only matters towards your ranking, as in like your skill, I guess. But qualifying, if you get 3 clean qualifying laps, like say for a good race you'll get 30% plus safety rating, but for like the 3 laps of quality that can give you like 15-20%. So if you actually had a decent race you can get half of a safety rank just from that. What I'd recommend doing, especially for qualifying, is if you qualify on first, if you somehow do have the pace for that, then just stay in first, you might as well. If you get even if you get P2, I guess you could try, but if you get any below that, if you get anywhere below that, I would recommend just starting in the pits. If you get P20, then maybe you could start at the back, but as you'll see from these races, even I just start in the pits because it's not really worth it, and there's always crashes even when you leave the pits as well, so it's best just to not get involved in it. But heading into the first race, I just decided to start in the pits because it was safest. And I'd always recommend make sure you like wait in the garage bit until like the cars actually start, because some people, like, you might stall the car and then you might need to start it up, but then someone behind you might just drive into you because they expect you to go when you can exit the pit. Coming up now was my fastest ever lap I've ever done around this track. So going down the long straight now, just looking for the braking point, about the 100 metre board, brake, keep a little bit on the brakes just so that way the rear doesn't slide. I got a bit wide, which cost me a bit of time. Brake at the little, like, there's white lines, the left and right. Trail brake around the whole corner. Go to the right to open it up, and then lift a little bit off the throttle, and then just, purple sector 1, 4 temps up already on my previous best lap. Brake at the 100 metre board, maybe a bit later since this BMW has a bit better brakes. than I think other cars. Go up to 4th gear and then a light brake and then hold the brake so the rear doesn't step out, and then keep it in 3rd and then just downshift all the way to 1st. Or trail braking again on this uphill just so that way you keep stability. Already 2 seconds up on my best lap of the session. Purple middle sector, I think, as we go up the hill, brake just as you get up the hill, go 1st gear, keep pin to the apex, keep it flat on this uphill left, and then brake on the white line on the right, hug the apex again, just hold in the brakes just a little bit. Keep it in 4th and then just a little lift. And just back to steering on full throttle. And I had to do a little lift there because I was going deep, but the final lap time was a 1:46 flat, I think. Yeah, 1:46. Unfortunately not a purple final sector, I think that'd be nice, but I think that snap at the end did cost me a lot of time, as there's like 2 spins up ahead.
Time 1:47.41.
But that was a great race. Went from what 20th to 5th. Again, look, 3 clean laps for quali. I don't know how I got 3 invalid race laps, but it's whatever. It's kind of irritating how I'm so close to getting silver, but I've got to do one more race and then I should have silver.
time was a 1:47.22. That time was a 1:47.79.
Yeah, the second race was actually really good. Although unfortunately I had a bit of that, I had contact with that we had a nice livery, but yeah, that McDonald guy, which I think, I don't know whose fault that'd be. I feel like for the first incident, like, I think he did kind of just not see me, which is kind of his fault. I was there, I was alongside him, and then I think he just sent the stupid move on the next right-hander, which he would have just hit me if I didn't swerve out of the way. But whatever, I got silver in the end, so that's all that really matters.